Resolution 756. The gentleman from Texas, Mr. Pfluger, as a member, will have 5 minutes, and the member opposed will also have 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's unfortunate that we have to be here to talk about this, and as a member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, as a representative of one of the most important energy production areas in the country, this is a national security issue. The Biden administration's assault on our baseload dispatchable generation of electricity has resulted in record high prices for consumers, looming resource inadequacies throughout the country, and have threatened our grid reliability. Just a few weeks ago, the Department of Energy's Assistant Secretary for Electricity, Mr. Rodrigues, testified before our committee, the Energy and Commerce Committee, regarding policies to enhance the reliability and the efficiency in powering American homes. And at this hearing, and I'm sad to say this, Mr. Rodrigues, who is the head of electricity at the Department of Energy, had no idea how much electricity the United States uses annually each year, and stated that the reason he was chosen for this position was not because he was a subject matter expert. And it saddens me to be standing here, but that's just not an acceptable position. And this glaring lack of knowledge is not okay. It's unacceptable from the head of the Department of Energy's Electricity Division. This administration has worked every day to transform energy industries and to push a green agenda that doesn't work, that's not reliable, that doesn't take into account reliability. And their own named assistant secretary doesn't know how much electricity we use. And so when you look at examples of what they've pushed for, a substantial increase in electric vehicles and other policies, you have to ask the question, if they don't know how much electricity we currently use, then will they know how much electricity we would require with their mandates for electric vehicles? In Texas alone, if all of our cars were electrified today, just as an example, the state would need approximately an additional 110 terawatt hours of electricity per year, the average annual electricity consumption of 11 million homes. The added electricity demand would result in a 30% increase over current consumption. So that is the kind of example that I expect Mr. Rodrigues and others within Department of Energy to know. This is a gigantic increase in demand. This administration continues to put American producers and consumers in a bad situation. It's critical that we have good leadership at DOE. And let me make this clear. I want the Assistant Secretary to be successful. We should all want these people in leadership positions to be successful. If he succeeds, our country wins. But when you're the Assistant Secretary for Electricity and you don't know every detail about electricity in the United States, then you're not succeeding. And so it's for that reason that I recommend this amendment to reduce the salary to $1 and remind DOE of their core mission, which is to help Americans with reliable and affordable energy. And with that, I reserve.
Gentleman from Texas reserves. For what purpose does the gentlelady from Ohio seek recognition?
Yes, I rise in opposition to the amendment.
The lady is recognized.
This amendment raises serious constitutional issues and may amount to an unconstitutional bill of attainder. This is not the way to handle policy disputes with Mr. Rodrigues, Assistant Secretary for Electricity at the Department of Energy's Office of Electricity. He has very impressive credentials with over 2 decades of work in industry in California, in Arizona, parts of our country that understand the new pressures on producing power. We look at the forest fires that have occurred out there and the stresses on the environment that caused millions of people not to have electricity. He's actually lived in places in our country that have experienced it first. He has impressive degrees in the law and obviously in business. So I don't think they're being fair to this gentleman, and this is certainly not the way to handle this. So this amendment prioritizes legislative theater over the American people. It has no chance of becoming law, and I strongly urge my colleagues to vote against this harmful amendment. I reserve my time.
Gentlelady from Ohio reserves. Gentleman from Texas.
I yield to my colleague from Tennessee.
Gentleman from Tennessee is recognized.
if you have nothing.
Okay. I thank the gentleman for yielding to me. Mr. Chairman, I hold my dear colleague and friend from Texas in the highest esteem. I think he's one of our brightest and best members, and he has served so well on the Energy and Commerce Committee, and it's a pleasure and privilege to serve with him. I play baseball with him, and candidly, he's a much better baseball player than I am. I trust his judgment, but respectfully on this issue, I want to be consistent. I have opposed the reducing of salaries to $1 in the previous amendments. He articulated his issues very well, but I do think this causes a dangerous, difficult precedent. And in that regard, I urge a no vote.
Gentleman from Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I yield back to the chair.
Gentleman yields back.
And
Gentleman from Ohio.
I yield back my time as well.
Lady. Question is on the amendment offered from the gentleman, by the gentleman from Texas. Those in favor say yea. Those in favor, no. In the opinion of the chair, the yeas have it. The amendment is agreed to.